The Chef Naz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Chef Naz Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm your host today, and we have with us a few special guests as we're going to be talking about a program that we're going to be helping out with here at Shepherd. And it's going to be with an organization that you're all very familiar with, or if you're not for some reason, you might become familiar today. It's called Lower Lights, and it's a ministry on the west side of Columbus that we've supported for a number of years now, but this is going to be a different way that we're going to support them this Christmas season. So to bring them in, first of all, I'll welcome in Pastor Rob. So welcome in.
Thank you. It's always great to be here.
Of course. Well, you
In
just
the
about
closet.
live here.
In the closet, I do.
I just stay back in this closet and wait for people to come in and talk to them.
Right,
It's
just
my
keep
means
showing
of
up.
communication to the outside world.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So you were just in a meeting,
Yep.
and coming out of the meeting, you were like, "Hey, I think we can have them on the podcast right now."
Yeah, and they were willing to do it. So
So we appreciate your willingness to just
Yeah.
dive right in. This is the way things work around here.
it is pretty much.
So, Pastor Rob, tell us a little bit about who we have with us.
So with us here today is Ashley. Ashley, I don't even know your last name.
Martin.
Ashley Martin
Yes.
and Chuck Wilson. And Chuck is the pastor at Lower Lights Church of the Nazarene, and Ashley is on staff there at the church. And at the church?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. What do you do there?
I'm the associate pastor.
Okay, awesome. So you do all the work, basically.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Chuck
Right.
tells you what to do, you do it, and he gets credit. Right. I understand that. So good. Well, yeah, they're here with us today, and we just had a meeting about the possibility of our church partnering with them in a program. And you guys recently did something similar to this at your church for Thanksgiving. And so basically what we're going to be doing is hoping to provide meals for Christmas for folks in the Lower Lights area. And you guys you just did this for Thanksgiving, and you have a food pantry that that meets all the time. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, we have a food pantry that has become really, really busy since the pandemic, especially.
Yeah.
So last month we served 495 families, which equaled about 1,700 and some. I can't remember the exact number.
That's amazing.
People. Those families. I think about 190 of those, if I remember correctly, were new families. We keep seeing new families all the time coming in. We really have been working hard to try and keep food on the shelf. That's been a challenge this year. Probably the biggest challenge we've had since we opened the food pantry many, many years ago.
Yeah.
So we are open twice a week, Monday evenings. A lot of folks come in on Monday evening after work. So they're what we might consider the working poor. And they just can't pay for groceries. Like, we complain about it. You know, some of us complain about the cost, but they simply can't afford them.
Yeah.
And so they come in after work. And also we have a number of people who are homeless in the area. And we have probably, on Monday nights, probably at least 40 or 50% that are living on the land somewhere. And so they come in to get a few things for the week.
Yeah.
And then we're open on Thursday mornings for 3 hours from 9:30 to 12:30. As I described it a little bit ago to you, it's like a community within a community.
Yeah.
You know, people come there, they meet there, they're prayed for there. They just have some really caring people that take on whatever their problems are. They're listening and they're helping them.
And so you have staff there who are helping them load up, but also talking with them on a weekly basis,
That's
praying,
right.
catching up with their life.
Yeah, all volunteer staff, by the way.
Really pastoring them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And where do you guys on a regular basis? I know you're probably getting some food from some places, but it's not obviously enough.
Right.
So that's why we're wanting to do this initiative. But where does that come from?
Well, we normally buy as much as we can from Mid-Ohio Food Cooperative. And they're a great partner here in town for a lot of pantries.
Yeah.
Without them, it'd be pretty hard to do. We buy food for a few cents on the dollar from them. And so, we spend probably $1,500 to $2,000 a month with them. But that buys up a lot of food,
Yeah.
But we need it.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of that's kind of staple items as well. It's not
That's
like
right.
stuff. It's not the fun stuff. It's
That's
stuff
right.
you just got to kind of have to have.
Yeah, it's the basics, and once in a while we'll get some odds and ends. But when we do a food drive or maybe a church comes together and brings boxes of food in, that's stuff that they don't see anywhere else. And so we just did this program that we're going to embark with you guys on at our church. Our church has a few people have money, but not very many. Most of them are from the neighborhood. They're struggling. And but we decided to just put it out there and see what would happen. And they brought in, we actually put 50 bags together. I shouldn't say we, Ashley put 50 bags together with a sheet on the outside.
The plural.
There you go, right?
It's the royal we.
So she had a list really nicely done on the outside, and it was about, I think, around $20-some that it cost to fill that bag. And so we had 50 bags back there for our small congregation. We run about 75 to 80 on a Sunday morning. The 50 bags turned into 72 bags that came back.
Wow.
So I don't know. It seems like that's like a parable that Jesus might tell.
Something that Jesus did one time.
Right, something like that. So, but so then that food was, we had a special shelf in our pantry last week for the 2 times that we serve. And people were able to come in. We also bought some turkeys. And but they could come in and choose the items off that shelf that they needed for their Thanksgiving meal. And it was really a thrill.
That's cool.
It was good.
Actually, what were some of the items that you guys were providing for Thanksgiving that were kind of like different than usual?
So I think the biggest thing that I had gotten feedback from that was probably the most like exciting thing to see was the pie crusts and the like canned pumpkin or canned apple. Because having the ability to like make a pie or make a cake or make cookies, that kind of stuff normally doesn't come through a pantry very often unless it's through special things like this. So a couple people told me that the clients that came through the food pantry were very excited to be able to actually like get to make something sweet to serve.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Well, and I would imagine that actually really adds to their holiday as well, because, we think back to some of our shared experiences growing up of maybe it was making something with grandma or our family, and to be able to do that and actually not just be able to provide them with a holiday meal, but also provide them a means by which they can have a memory with the rest of their family. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's cool. Chuck, you mentioned to me a story about when you were helping a lady take stuff. Share that because that's really cool.
So the first night that we had the distribution, we had 25 turkeys, and they could choose that if they wanted, or other kinds of meats that we had in the freezer. But she came through, and she was obviously had come from work, but very poor. And so we went through, and on the way out, I'm taking the cart out to the car to help her put her groceries in the car. And she said to me, she says, "I didn't think I was going to have Thanksgiving, but now I'm going to have Thanksgiving." And she had this just beautiful smile on her face. And so that was awesome. Yeah. That was representative of a lot of people. When came in.
Little motivation.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think, though, the thing that was the greatest part of it was our people who many don't have much at all, were able to buddy up and provide those bags. And they were thrilled to be able to be part of that. And I'm so proud of my congregation for what they accomplished in this Thanksgiving season.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, you gave me a call and said, "Hey, we want to do this again," and we're asking if we'd be interested. And I would just love for our church to participate. So I don't know if you or Ashley want to explain maybe how this would work and what your thoughts are about how we could participate in helping you guys out.
Yeah. So one of the easiest ways is grab a bag. The bag has the list on it somewhere. And the way I explained it to a couple of my families that were really excited to get to do it was that take the bag with you to the store. do a little scavenger hunt. Like, go find the stuff, check it off as you put it in the bag, and then when you check out, you have the bag fully ready. All you have to do is just drop it off.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
So-
Perfect.
Yeah. So starting this Sunday, November 1st, I'm not sure when this is going to play, but December. December. Yeah. Sorry. I'm a little behind.
Well, as we're hearing this, December 1st is already passed, but so that means that it's already available. And
Yes.
what are they going to see?
Yeah, so they'll have a bag with the list that Ashley was talking about that'll have all the items on it. It's about, I don't know, 15, 20 items. They're probably about $1 item piece. So that's things like corn and beans and stuffing and brownies or those kind of things. And then just fill the bag and bring it back to the church by Sunday, December. I can't believe it's
15th.
December already.
It really is.
So bring it back by December 15th, because on December 16th, you guys will begin passing those Christmas bags out. So, yeah. And I think we can also take the list and we'll put it in the show notes. And so if you can't stop in the church and get a bag, you can get the list at least and go to the store and bring it in, and we'll make sure that they get it and everything as well. So they'll be picking things up on the morning of the 16th. So we need to bring it here by the 15th. And if we do that, then we'll be able to help them out. So I'd love to put a couple hundred bags together for these guys and be a bit blessing to the folks there that they minister to. And I think it'd be a great opportunity.
All right. So be looking for that. We'll definitely put the list in the show notes. And then also we'll be posting that on Facebook and Instagram so that you can see it there as well. And we kind of are looking forward to the stories from this experience as we've heard some of the stories of what happened at Thanksgiving. So anything else you'd like to share before we close?
Yeah, no, thank you guys for what you do. You have an incredible ministry, and it's a blessing to partner with you guys. We're thankful for what you do
Thank you
on a
for all your
regular
help.
basis. And you guys you're amazing.
Thank you.
So we'll be praying for you and hopefully be able to help out.
Thank you.
All right. Well, maybe your next step toward Jesus today is being his hands and feet going through a grocery store. So pick up a list off of Facebook, Instagram, or the show notes here. Or if you've already been to the church, you can pick up a bag there and take that to the store and get that full. Make sure you have those back for December 15th. For Chuck and Ashley and for Pastor Rob, I'm Joe. Have a great day. This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.